Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. How you doing this morning?
I'm blessed. I'm just grateful to be here this morning. Thank you for the opportunity.
You hooked up with a lady? You going to have to start doing some of these hay rides and stuff in the fall, or you on your own this fall?
I'm on my own
Hey, it's soccer season, man.
It's soccer season.
Soccer season. Talk a little bit about that. The high school soccer season, the Cape Atlantic League American Conference, really shaping up to be an exciting conference. I mean, you got Atlantic City's, I think, 4-1, Egg Harbor Township undefeated, Ocean City's 3-1, Mainland's 3-1. Some great soccer being played here in the first couple weeks of the season.
Yeah, this year I think the American Conference, you don't have like a percent front runner to win the conference this year. It's the first time because everybody's tough this year. Atlantic City's, they've been improving, like with the great program they have in Atlantic City with the youth playing soccer, all year round. So I think the next 5 years from now, AC is going to be a real tough team to beat. And you have St. Augustine, they're always good every year. And also Ocean City, they're always powerhouse. And then with the stuff our EST is doing every year, every time we play EST, it's a real tough rivalry game. And EST is getting better and better every year, too. So this year, the soccer, the way the season started so far, is a lot of great soccer. And, every team we play this year, they look good. We just played Middle Township last week. And, they give her a tough game, too. We lost to them. But it just seemed like this year, all the soccer teams this year in the American Conference are real. Yeah,
it's gonna be an exciting season. Now, do you ever speak with Atlantic City player Derek Amoko? I know he's from Africa as well. You're from Liberia. I think he's from Ghana. Is that correct?
Yes. I know those kids. Derek and Shamrock. They both, I live in the AC too. So when we have an African function, we all there. And we
cool.
We always busting on each other because I always tell them game is going to be AC. So, this year I'm a little bit I'm not talking too much yet because I don't know because they look really good this year.
Yeah, they're off to a hot start for sure.
Those kids are great kids. Derek is a wonderful kid, very smart, intelligent, A lot of the kids from AC are wonderful kids because I substitute in Atlantic City School District. So Shamrock, I had him in my class, and also he was playing for the team that I was coaching through the school program over there. But they're wonderful kids, Derek is, they got a good head on the shoulder, not just on the soccer field, but also in the classroom too. So
we're talking with Eli Gbayee, who is the assistant boys soccer coach at Absegami High School. Now, Eli, you're doing something now. You started a nonprofit called Hope for Liberia. People can find out more about that. You can search for Hope for Liberia on Facebook. Talk a little bit about what got you into this, because I know for Glory Days Magazine we did a big feature story about kind of your life story last December to really let everyone know. Thanks. Let everyone know kind of what brought you to where you're at now. So talk a little bit about how you got this organization started and what's the reason behind it? What are you hoping to do with this organization?
This organization it was something that I felt like it was a calling from God. I felt like God had a purpose for me, and I had a chance to go to Liberia in 2013 for the first time in 24 years. And when I went back to Africa, I went to go visit my grandfather and my family from my dad's side because my mom's family brought me to the United States. When I went there, I was staying at my cousin's house because where my family was living, it was very horrible and stuff. So I was blessed. I was staying at my cousin's house. I met these two little young girls, about the age of 6 and 8. They were walking a mile, like 2 miles, just to come get water to take it home for their family. And it was raining that day. Those two little girls, they didn't have no flip-flops on their feet. And when I saying that, I felt so sorry. I felt so bad because I remember when I was in the refugee camp, I never had no flip-flops or anything like that. So that was the first time that I had a flashback on my life when I met these young little kids. So I took them to the market and I purchased 2 pair of flip-flops for them. And then the next thing, I called my church, Second Baptist. We have a youth program church.
That's in Atlantic City, right?
Yeah, Atlantic City, called Swagger Ministry. And I called the president. I asked them to send me $200. When they sent me the $200, we purchased 120 pair of flip-flops. I went to a disabled people place, a community, where we were able to bless the young kids with flip-flops. When we started giving the kids the flip-flops, the next thing we know, we saw 300 to 400 kids pushing and fighting over flip-flops. Yeah. And I literally broke down and started crying because just seeing the look on their face, even some of the kids didn't get a flip-flop that day, but their parents were so grateful that somebody came from the United States, went to their community, and blessed them with flip-flop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it meant so much to them. And I was talking to my grandfather, and I seen the look on my grandfather's face, and he was like, "There's so many kids over here that have nothing." And here I was. God blessed me that I came to the United States because I was living on my own from 4 till I was like 13.
Mm-hmm.
When I came to America, I never had a chance to go to school. Never been in a classroom. When I came to this country, I went to Absegami High School. I owe my life to God and Absegami High School. You know, I have a teacher over there, Miss Takalosa, and Bill Rose, the soccer head coach at Gbayee. Those two people, I call them my mom and my dad because they were very grateful and helpful to me. And also Absegami High School. They literally helped me from a kid who never had a chance to ride a school bus to go to school. Never had a free lunch, you know.
Yeah.
Never had a textbook, you know, sitting in on desk, have a locker, and all those things was a blessing. So when I was talking to my grandfather, and I seen so many young kids, and adults my age didn't have anything, and I was telling myself, I'm like, God, if I would have been in Liberia, how my life would have been like, you know. And that's why I tell God, thank you every day that I'm not better than those people over there, but God brought me over here. He had a purpose for my life. So, you know, and we take things for granted sometimes, but I'm so blessed when I went home. And when I seen these kids, I just started this whole thing called Hope for Liberia. You know, I promised the kids, I said I was going to go back to Liberia and bring a lot of clothes, you know, toiletries, footwear, things that people don't use. Like disabled people, they can't even go nowhere because they don't even have crutches, or they don't even have wheelchairs. They sit in the house. My grandfather, for example, he sit in the house all day just because you don't have a wheelchair to get out of the house to get fresh air. So he stuck to his bed, you know, saying those things. And the elderly over there, it broke my heart. So when I came here, I started collecting clothes, shoes, you know, different things that people not using no more, that they're not in need of no more. So they gave me those things. And God bless us, we purchased a 40-foot container. We have the container, and we were filling it up with a lot of stuff. But some of the stuff that we need right now are like, you know, wheelchair, crutches, and stuff like that. And also we stay collecting, you know, clothes and deodorant, like toiletries, so we can ship it back to Liberia so I can be able to go there and literally give it to these kids. Because I myself, when I was in the refugee camp, you would hear people say they're bringing stuff, but you never get it.
Yeah.
And never go to the people who are in need of it.
Now, to give people around here a little bit of background, you know, I think sometimes in America we kind of live in our little suburban bubbles and we don't really understand what's going on in some places around the world. You know, you hear about it on the news maybe here and there, or CNN, that kind of thing. But Liberia in Africa is a country that was really torn apart by civil war in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yes.
Not a safe place to be. Tell us a little bit about, you know, you were saying you lived on your own from 4 till age 12 or 13. This was because, you know, you were in school one day, all of a sudden you hear gunfire, you have to flee the school, you're separated from your mom, your classmates, all that stuff. You end up as a 4-year-old in a refugee camp, basically just on your own.
Yes.
I mean, that's hard for anyone around here to imagine, you know, just sending a 4-year-old out on the street, hey, fend for yourself for the next 8 years. It's crazy to even think about.
Yeah, well, you know, every time I look back on those things like that, I just tell God thank you, because, you know, God he was very instrumental in my life. Because at 4 years old, like, I look at a lot of young kids, and every time I go to high school and speak to them, I say, imagine your 4-year-old nephew or little brothers. What can you do at 4 years old?
Right.
You know, so like, it wasn't like the only thing I can think of. It was just God, because at 4 years old, I couldn't even fight with the older people for food. You know, it was a time that I used to eat out of garbage. You know, I would go a whole week with no food.
Eating out of garbage cans. Wow.
Garbage can, not your garbage can, but like the dumpster, like when you go dump this stuff, you know. So it was
just
like,
to survive,
yeah,
right?
just to survive. And sometimes, like, you know, I was this kid, like, so skinny, have a big stomach, but were hungry, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and just living in different refugee camps, they used to have a saying, like, everyone for themselves, God for us. And now when I look back, because when I came to America, I tried to forget about those memories, you know.
Right.
Because I tell people,
sure, you're 14 years old. You know, you're in a new country.
In this new country, and a lot of kids in Africa, we look at America as heaven on earth. So, like, you know, when I came here, I say, okay, now I forget about all the bad thing, and you know. But when I started Hope for Liberia, talking to young people over there, and saying like what I went through, I says it got to be God, because, you know, we would say sometimes we would go cut woods and stuff, sell the woods just to find food to eat, and it was tough. It was tough, you know, living in a refugee camp. It was one of the toughest things that I've been through. But thank God, God pulled me out of it, and here I am today. I'm an American citizen in this wonderful country that I tell people we live in one of the best country in the world. Because
and I think we forget sometimes. When we grow up in America and we live here our whole lives, we forget how good we have it. In terms of the Absegami High School players, how much perspective do they gain by learning about your story and what you've been through, about how good they have it, and to really pay it forward with what they have to help other people out?
Oh, the kids, when I tell them my story, because they always see me over there, Coach Rose, we don't talk too much, but we don't talk too much with the kids. But when I share my story to them, when you did the magazine and they read it, they were so shocked. Even our captain, the goalie, Drew, he graduated last year.
Drew Rash, yeah.
Yeah, he was so amazed, like, Coach, man, you've been through a lot. And I tell him, but, I've been through a lot, but I take those negative things and turn it into a positive thing.
Which is huge for high school kids to see.
Yeah, high school kids to see. And that helped our team last year because it brought us that bond. Like, we had that mutual respect for each other. And the kids see that they have a coach who have the best interest. And I'm always on top of the kids. I say soccer is not your number one priority. Education is your number one priority in school. And discipline is a very huge thing with Absegami soccer. Because I always let the kids know. Because when I went to Gbayee, I never talked back to my teachers. I never did respect my teachers.
Right.
So if I don't care, you can be the best player on the soccer team. If we hear any bad mouthing to the teachers and you did respecting the teacher, we're gonna sit you on the bench because those people,
as it should be, yeah.
And those people, those teachers, because they used to be my teachers, they helped me. So I'm not gonna let no young teenager kid get respect them in the first place.
Right.
And but we teach discipline because I tell them, I'm like, because you never know what tomorrow can bring. If I was some bad kid, a respectful kid, Gbayee wanted to give me the chance to be assistant coach over there. I wouldn't be going back to Gbayee a substitute in the school, but because of my character, the way I carry myself on the field and off the field, I used to hate losing. A lot of the referees, they remember me big boy because I was so passionate about playing soccer because that kind of helped me to forget about the Civil War.
Right.
That was like my therapy of playing soccer. So that helps me a lot. And so I always tell the kids, we out there to have fun. Sportsmanship is very, very key. Sometimes you get like the coaches, they're going back and forth. But I told the kids, just come out there, play hard, give everything you got, and also just be respectful to all the teams and stuff. And that's what we try to teach at Gbayee soccer.
Outstanding. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back on the other side with more from Eli Gbayee. Amazing life story. We're going to talk for a few minutes more with him and before we get into the rest of the show. So stay with us. Welcome back into the South Jersey Sports Report here on 97.3 ESPN. I'm your host, Dave O'Sullivan from Glory Days Magazine. Check us out online, acglorydays.com, facebook.com/acglorydays. You can also follow me on Twitter at GDSullySays. Twitter was blowing up last night after the Cedar Creek game. So we're going to get more into high school football as the show goes on. A little bit of high school soccer. We're going to talk about some stuff going on as opening weekend at Field of Dreams over there in Absecon. Right now we're joined in studio with a special guest, Eli Gbayee, assistant boys soccer coach at Absegami High School. He's got a new nonprofit called Hope for Liberia, trying to raise some money and get some clothing and soccer balls, cleats, toiletries, all kind of stuff over to the children of Liberia. He's trying to help out some kids in his home country. Just wanted to mention this. He's got an event coming up next Saturday, September 26th from 8 a.m. to 12 noon at 2849 Carmentown Road in Mays Landing. They're going to be packing the truck up with stuff. He's hoping to send a big 40-foot container over to Liberia filled with goods, toiletries, clothes, bikes, anything we can get together to help these kids out, shoes, whatever you need, whatever you have laying around, you can donate. That'd be greatly appreciated. You can check out the website, www.hope-for-liberia.org, or you can give Eli a direct call, 609-328-4657. Eli, we were talking in our last segment a little bit about your life story, and just an amazing life story. You were basically orphaned in a way at age 4 as that Civil War was going on. You spent 8 years in a refugee camp before coming to America. You got reunited with your mom.
Yes.
They brought you back over to America, and you started at Absegami High School. I thought when we did a story about you last December in Glory Days Magazine, one of the most interesting parts of that story was your first week of high school. You sat there in the cafeteria not eating lunch
Yep.
because you were scared. You didn't have any money.
Yep.
You didn't know you were part of the free lunch program.
Yes.
You didn't have any money, and you thought if you went and got some food, you'd get arrested. I mean, that's kind of the mindset of a kid who's grown up in a war-torn area.
Yes.
Take us back real quick to those moments. A teacher finally came up to you and said, "Hey, why is this kid not eating lunch?" They took you down to the office, found out you're part of the free lunch program. But all that fear and uncertainty you had as a 14-year-old in this country, as a new member of the United States, what was going through your mind that first week of high school?
That first week of high school, I was real nervous and scared, because first I didn't know they offer you a free bus ride to school. I was willing to walk. I was living in Egg Harbor City at the time on Buffalo Avenue. So I was willing to walk from Egg Harbor City to Absegami because...
Which is like 5 miles at least?
Yes, that's a normal thing to kids in Africa who doesn't have money to pay for transportation. So I didn't have a problem with that. And then when they told me I had a free bus, I'm like, wow, this country is great. I was nervous because I thought they were going to ask me to pay to get on the bus. But the lady was like, no, it's free. I'm like, wow, I love this country already. But I went to school, like you were saying, the first week I was scared to eat because if you don't have money, like kids go to school hungry in Liberia. When I mean hungry, you don't, not to say you have food in the refrigerator because you don't want to eat it, but
this hungry where you
hungry, you don't have eaten nothing. So going to school, I went with an empty stomach. I was used to it, so I was just happy being in school. So when I got there in the cafeteria, I was so shocked how much food the kids were throwing in the trash can. At first, I wanted to get up and go in the trash can and take the food, but then I said, no, I don't want to be embarrassment to my family. So, but the first whole week, I didn't eat no lunch because I told you have to pay for it. But one of the teachers, asked me why you don't eat. I said, I don't have no money and stuff, and so they took me to the office. I was on the free lunch program. Finally, when we went there to get my lunch, I don't know none of the food on the menu. Right. So when they told me about hot dog, I thought it was a real dog. It was the hot dog. So I said, no, I don't want to eat no hot dog. So my first week, my first year of high school, I ate peanut butter and jelly sandwich for the whole year because that's the only thing I knew was bread, peanut butter, and then I saw the gray stuff. I said, and that was I was scared to eat pizza, didn't know what pizza was, cheese steak, all those things. But now I eat those things. But my first year in America, I was nervous. I didn't know what the food was until a couple of my friends, who was very helpful in high school, they would come and get me on the weekend. When I went over to parents' house, then they would show me some of these different foods and stuff and that stuff. But it was just amazing, like knowing that you can go to school here for free. The bus pick you up. You get also free lunch. You get a free textbook. I used to be running through the hallway because I didn't want to be late for class. Because in my country, when you're late, you get beaten. Wow. And there was a story. One of the kids was talking to one of my favorite teacher. Came in with his pants down. And I'm looking at this guy. He's crazy and stuff, But it was just amazing. Like up to now, when I think about that movement, it brings a smile on my face because, I never had a chance to go to school. Never seen a computer before. And all I had to do was just go to school, and people was there willing to help me. It was a blessing. And I go around telling my story to young people just to encourage them to do better, because you can have
so much of that is stuff that kids today take for granted. Really,
yes.
They expect all those things when coming from different countries where you have less.
Yes.
You don't realize how much we have in America.
Okay. Yeah, we blessed in this country. And when I went back to Liberia 2013. And I seen that again live. I'm like, after all this year, and I seeing kids hungry. I met little kids who's in the market selling just to make money to take it to their grandparents to buy food to eat. Right now, we're trying to put 30 kids in school, pay for tuition. Like for high school kids, it costs $300 to $400 to send them to school for the whole year. A middle school kids cost $250 for the whole school year. A college kids for the whole school year costs $800. So my goal is we're trying to help 30 kids to go to school because I know education is the most important thing. Because here I am today, I'm a testimony because what education can do for you. I went from being a kid who couldn't read and write. Now I can read and write. I started
college degree.
Blessed
from Stockton
University. And people, I have a teacher over there. Her name is Pam Cross, live in Linwood. One of my best teachers too. That lady literally took her time. I used to live in the writing center just to get better, And kids used to ask me, why you always here? I'm like, man, I'm paying for this, And I have people who are willing to help me. I'm going to take advantage of it, So, but the great thing about Hope for Liberia, people been blessing us with a lot of stuff. But now some of the stuff that we need is donation to pay for the 40-foot container. Mm-hmm. It's my first time doing a nonprofit thing. I didn't have a lot of clues, ideas about it. But it's a lot of costs that go with this stuff. But, we trust in God. Like you said, on the 26th, we're going to be packing stuff. And the good thing about Hope for Liberia, when people give a donation to give us stuff, you're going to see when we ship this stuff to Liberia, I'm going to bring back proof, videotape, pictures, so you can literally see where your stuff went, because I don't want to be that person who I was in a refugee camp. We were here, the Red Cross, the United Nations would bring things, but it never get to the people that are in need of it.
Yeah, definitely check out the Facebook page. He's got some videos on there. Just search Hope for Liberia on Facebook.
Yep.
You got some videos on there where you went, when you visited Liberia,
and we were giving out the flip flop.
It really brings it home. You see these kids that have barely any clothes on, no shoes.
Yep.
I mean, hopefully some people around here will react and help you out a little bit. Talk a little bit about your grandfather, who you just recently met for the first time.
Yeah.
He just passed away. Sorry to hear about that. But the guy was 104 years old.
104 years old. And
I mean, that's amazing.
And that's why I keep telling people, I said, God have a purpose for my life. He kept me from 4 years old all these years. Now I'm here. I never met my family for 24 years. I went back Liberia all through the Civil War, two wars in Liberia. Uh-huh. My grandfather never seen him. I never met this old man. When I went back home for the first time in 2013, I met my grandfather, and
what was that like for you?
It was I was numb. Me and my dad and my grandpa. This guy, old man, God kept him this whole long. He was 102 years old when I met him.
Wow.
So I'm telling God, thank you. When he passed away September 7th, I was sad. But then I thought about it. I'm like, you can't be sad because God kept your grandfather this whole long, and at least you met your grandfather for the first time.
What was his reaction? He must have been thrilled.
He was getting blind, but when he saw me, he was touching me. He was happy to hear my voice, and he I've been praying to God so God can just keep me to meet you, and just talking to him, he's so much wisdom and knowledge, and that power in his voice, and but when he passed, when he was 104, I tell God, thank you for keeping him from me to meet my grandfather, because it was a blessing. And we having a memorial service today for him today at my mom's house, but I'm just grateful for my grandfather, man. This guy, he was a cool guy. We talked for a week and just hang out. And I have his picture on my Facebook page. A lot of people can find our information. You just put ELI, my last name Gbayee, and go to my Facebook page. You can see all the information, or visit the website, Hope for Liberia website, and then you would be able to see the video, like you were saying, when we were in Liberia. Mm-hmm. You can literally see these kids fighting and stuff. But like I said, we just need help financially. Now that's what we need help with, to pay for plane ticket, the shipping costs. And I'm gonna be in Liberia for 3 months, because when I ship the stuff, it would take a month and a week to get there. So I'm gonna be waiting to get this stuff. Once I get there, then I'll be back in.
Real quick, just want to mention this phone number again: 609-328-4657. That's Eli's direct line. Let's get his phone blowing up this weekend. No donation is too small. $10, $20, if you can afford it, to help him out in his mission to help some kids from his home family, or his home country. Sorry. We got about a minute or two left with you, Eli. Real quick, just give us a recap of what keeps you motivated to keep doing this and to keep bringing attention to Liberia and the help that the people need over there.
What keeps me doing this is because when I came to this country, a lot of people helped me. A lot of people helped me to get me to where I'm at today. And first, I got to give God all the praise and glory, because he's the one that kept me this long. And it's just when I call these kids and I heard them on the phone, when I talk to them, and I hear that story, we haven't eaten for a week yet. We're looking for money. Like $50, for example, can buy 100-pound bag of rice, and that can feed a family of 8 for 1 month. Mm-hmm. So our goal is we want to get 250 bag of rice to take to purchase in Liberia, and also it's just God, I'm just trying to pay it forward, because when I went there, I see the look on their face, and it just taught me how I was, So I just want to just give God the glory, but also to just bless other people. I tell God always, I say, God, please use me to be a blessing to other people, so you can get the praise and glory. So, like I said, we trying to purchase 100 barrels. The barrels are $40 for the barrels, but we put the clothes in it. Once we empty it, we can give it to people for them to store it for water.
Right. So dual purpose.
Dual purpose. So we have our stuff. We have all the information on our website. Visit the website, and like like I always tell people, I said together we can give hope. It's not just I can give hope, but if everybody come in, like you said, $10, $15, $20. If you go to my Facebook page, we have a GoFundMe link. You can read a story. You can hit the link. Whatever you donate will be a huge blessing towards our goal. Like we're trying to get 250 bag of rice when we get there, so we can purchase for people and to pay for the shipment, and also like airfare and hotel fee while I'm there. So whatever donation they give, it will be a blessing.
Outstanding. Appreciate you stopping by, Eli. Real quick, again, search for Hope for Liberia on Facebook. You can check them out on their website, hope-for-liberia.org. Give Eli a call, 609-328-4657. If you're a high school kid out there listening, talk to your parents, see if you can scrape together $20, $25. I know Glory Days Magazine has a lot of fans. Let's get these guys rallied together.
Some soccer balls.
Some soccer balls, all that kind of stuff. So let's get out there and try to help Eli if we can. He's doing a great thing for a lot of young kids over there in Africa, his home country. Again, it's 609-328-4657. Let's blow his phone up. Let's get this thing going.
And thank you, David, so much for everything, man. You've been a great help and great support for Hope for Liberia. Man, God bless you. I just pray that God continue to use you. You're doing a wonderful stuff, getting kids' stories out there. I just want to say thank you for everything.
I appreciate it
so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back on the other side with more of the South Jersey Sports Report.